this folio is going to be bursting with playful pieces using kids book images. So I don't think I've done this before. If you want to have a look, please join me. So hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So what I've got here is I've got a folio which I have made just the basic piece from, or just the basic folio. I've made it from scrapbooking, not scrapping. So what I've got here is a basic folio which I have made from digitals, and I've combined lots of different bright and colourful digitals because we are going to be obviously using the kids book images, and what's going to look best with those is obviously bright colourful pictures and images, I think. So this is the basic folio. Now I haven't built it up yet, so I want to continue kind of building it up. I've got some envelopes here, so we're going to put some envelopes in here as well. I'm kind of thinking maybe one here and then probably another pocket here. Just kind of checking, unless we have it this way round. We might have it this way round, and then we might have a pocket on here. So I'm just going to pull in some more paper to make another pocket. So I think we'll just have it like that. Don't want to spend kind of too long on this, so we're just going to have a pocket here, and I'll just fold that up like that. Okie dokie. So I have stitched most of the pieces that I've used, but for this one we will just glue this because obviously don't want to have to be stopping the video for my, getting the sewing machine out. So just glue that together. I mean, I'm using this because it was in half already. It's probably a bit of a wasteful way to do it, but I just thought, well, it's folded in half anyway. I can use the remainder for some other project or other. So just smoosh my glue out. Okie dokie. I have to say, I have actually ended up getting some glue on that paper, but I mean, again, it's not really going to matter because by the time we've put some book images and things down, it's going to be covered up. So just trim this down here on, trim this down here on the edge. Like that. Okie dokie. And then, so we're going to have this in like that. So just a little pocket here. Let's just check which way around that was. There we go, that way around. That we're going to glue there. Now, the reason I'm doing it there is because then I can put some lace or something down along this, which is the fold, which will just help to reinforce the folio. So it's kind of important to try and make it as robust as you can, really. So I'm going to just put this down like this. Yeah, this is just something I've been doing lately, which I'm having a lot of fun with, is making folios just from paper. So whereas in the past I've made them always from like envelopes, this is just a different, different way of doing them, really. And I must say I'm really enjoying it. Oops, really enjoying it. So let me know what you think. I think possibly you have to be a bit more cautious, like I say, because, you've got to then really ensure that you're reinforcing them. But I think they are very cute. I wouldn't say that they're easier to do than the envelope ones. I'd say kind of similar, really. But they give you different, different looks and things. So then we're going to have an envelope, I think, coming in from this side. Just like that. And I probably will put the whole envelope on here, which will just kind of also thicken that page up a little bit. So let's see, what paper do we want to put in there? Now I have got some yellow. I don't know whether we're now introducing one too many colours. I mean, we've got a little bit of yellow over here in this sort of image, but on the whole it's more greens and blues, really. So let me just check what other papers I've got. Okay, so I might just cover it with this, which is similar, or actually could do this. Okay, let's do this one. Now, again, not too worried that they've got a torn corner out of this, because we can do something to cover that up. So it's not the end of the world. Okay. Like that. Okay, and just, yeah, put that down like that. And like I say, I mean, we can always fill this in, so although it looks a bit rubbish, we can put something over that, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, we're just kind of bringing in similar colours to what's over there, I think. So pop this down on the envelope. This is a 5x7 envelope, and the folio, obviously the papers are A4 page, which is very similar to the US letter. So to give you an idea of the, you know, the height of the folio, it's just been governed by the height of the paper. Right, there we go. So put that down like that. Let me just get another tissue. Okay. So just quickly spread the glue out here. Okay, like that. Okay, and then on the inside of the envelope, because I do on the whole try and line them, because it just gives it a bit more strength really. So, you know, once they start opening and closing quite a few times, then that's quite beneficial really. So I'm just going to then take this green. So this is just from my pale damask, I think it's the set 2. Okay, just slip that down there. Obviously doesn't have to be straight or anything because it's going to be tucked into the envelope. So there we go, and yep, just tuck that in. Tuck that in there like that. Okay, looking good. Right, leave that out of the way. Pop that up. Okay, glue this down. I did have somebody ask recently, why do I use so much glue? And I'm just going to say, because I want my pieces to be really hard wearing. So, you know, the more glue I put on, hopefully, you know, the more hard wearing that this is going to be. And obviously the more hard wearing, the more longevity it has, you know, and all of that stuff. But yes, I do agree that, you know, it looks like, wow, she is using a lot of glue. And I am using a lot of glue, but that's the reason. That's the reason why I like to use a lot of glue. So just spread the glue out like that. Okay, just mop that up. Okay, and then just glue this down here as well. I would ordinarily probably trim the envelope down a bit, but to be honest, I'm going to leave it as the full size because actually this is all going to sort of help to reinforce and strengthen the paper. So fold that in across the flap. Okay. Like that, and yep. Okay. Right, looking good so far. So that's going to go over there. And I'm just wondering, I've got some other size envelopes. So I'm thinking maybe maybe we could have one actually folding this way from that one. That's always quite fun to do. So yeah, just going to line this or cover this. So I might use the green here on the outside. Like that. Okay, and then just, yeah, I mean, the kids' books, to be honest, I generally have used them in, you know, journals previously. I have done a kids' book folio, which was using, I think, smallish envelopes. I must actually have a look at that video because I could do with a refresher of how I did that. I can't actually remember, but weirdly, I think I've actually kept it. I think it's in my hoarded journals, so I might dig it out and have a look. Might even dig it out and show it to you guys because it's been such a long time since I made it. We'll see if we can fathom out how to reproduce it. Because I kept it because I was very pleased with how it turned out. If I recall, I think it turned out like really quite flat and sort of, you know, very neat and tidy. So yeah, I was quite pleased with it. I think that's what I thought in the finished product. Was it was quite flat and quite, you know, quite tidy. But yeah, this is obviously going to look very different to that. This is, you know, going to be probably quite bulgy and bulky because we're going to obviously fill it with tons of lace and things like that. So, you know, we're not going for that flat look here, and I'm not expecting it to be flat. I'm expecting it to be bulging and bulky. In fact, I will be positively disappointed if it's not. So let's put that one down there. Like that. Okay. Again, just lining the envelopes just so that they're nice and strong. Oops. Like that. Okay. And just a bit more on the flap. Okay, right. Looking good. So I have to say I'm loving the colours so far that we've put together in here. So yeah, we've got a really big eclectic mix of stuff going on, which, you know, I think is just what you need. If you're using children's books, you might as well go all out sort of fun with the look of it, mightn't you? So, you know, there's no point restraining yourself and holding back. If you're going with a fun theme like children's book, well, you might as well really pull it off and go really all out fun and bright and colourful. So hopefully that's what we're going to end up with. Right, so we're going to have that there, that there, that there, like that. I have now got some glue stuck on there. Just picking up the glue from my desk, which is just unfortunate. Okay, I just gave my desk a little bit of a wipe down, so hopefully it's slightly better now. Right, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to stick this envelope onto what will be the cover. Just noticed a little bit of kind of like creasy mark there. There we go. That's better. So yeah, we're going to glue this down here. Again, plenty of glue, saturate the whole thing. Pop that onto the edge like that. Okay. And then you can always spread the glue out on this side. This is going to be my front cover, which we're obviously now reinforcing a bit by having the layers of paper, but also it is going to be covered, you know, I'm not sure whether it will be covered with paper or whether it will be covered with fabric. But if you're thinking, oh, that looks crazy now, it won't do, because it will be covered, you know, eventually it will be covered with something. So right, this one we're going to put here. So, and I cut the flap down just so as it wasn't quite so much to cover up. I mean, obviously we haven't done anything on this side of the envelope yet, but when we do, it won't have quite so much to cover. So mop up any glue that's coming out and then just glue it down from the other side. Like that. Okay, looking good so far. So we've got those. Then we've got pockets here, and I haven't decided yet what to do on this side, but I did do a couple of like corner pockets from my book pages that I tore out. So I'm thinking possibly this up here. So let me just move this across. Possibly this, because I think that would look pretty cute over there, wouldn't it? So yeah, we might do something like that. We'll see. So we can get decorating really. So this one, now this one I'm going to make a full-on you know, pockety piece here. So I'm going to just cover, just using some of this tea collection paper. So we just go up like that, just right to the end of the envelope, like that. Okay. Now it doesn't matter if I've done it too big, because we're going to end up cutting this down anyway, so it's all fine. Like that. Let's pop that there. Okay, right, let's just like that. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down. So what I want to do is actually glue it down here across this back bit, glue it down along the sides like that, and then lots of glue here, all filling in just like the body of the envelope basically. Put in some here on the edge because I'm going to cut this open so it's a side loading pocket rather than the envelope. Now the reason why I do that when the envelopes are like this, I find them pretty tricky to get into when they're actually kind of like stuck onto a page or stuck into a folio. So by doing this, I'm just allowing the access area to be much easier, because obviously now we're going to cut it open here and it's going to therefore, you know, be a huge opening. So it's just a sort of ease of access really. The other bonus is this envelope is potentially probably a little bit too long. As you can see, it's just slightly bigger than that. By doing this, I can cut this down really to any size. So I'm going to cut it down here. Like that. And then as you can see, it's now sitting better with the folio. It's not overlapping the other envelope. So just kind of little tricks like that, you know, I think make it quite helpful. So this will open, and then on here what I probably want is to perhaps have a little foldy out kind of piece. So I've got here some of my damask paper, and I think that goes pretty nice with the rest of the folio, doesn't it? So now unfortunately I've already folded this in half for something else and then didn't end up using it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut it here. Like that. Okay, and yeah, I think probably I just take that there, just fold it like that. Okie dokie. Want to have the blue showing rather than the other side, so just do it like that. Now this has been backed onto another page from the Pale Damask set too, so you know I don't need to worry about coffee dyeing it or anything. It's not a stark white background. Okay, I mean, you know, who knows, you might not mind a stark white background anyway, but personally, you know, I'd prefer it not to look stark white, so this is quite handy. Right, there we go. Oh my goodness, I cannot cut straight today to save my life. What is going on? Let's hope that's a bit straighter. I don't know whether it is. Oh, well, it's not brilliant, but it's better. Better at least. So we can have that there. And then under there. Oh, look. Nearly missed that. That's where my printer's not printed borderless, so also need to just tidy that up. Okay. Just put that in. Put that in there. Right, so this is going to open up here with, obviously, we're going to put a pocket or something on this side. Now, what do I want to use for the pocket is the question. Let me just see whether I've got any sort of blank bits that I can use. Well, I've got something like this, which we could use. That's sort of introducing a bit of vintage yumminess, isn't it? So I quite like that. And then what I've done, I've backed all of my pieces that are potentials to use. I've backed them onto book page so that they're more robust and, you know, thicker. So, for example, you know, could have that there. This is now got some thickness and rigidity to it. So we could use something like that. Now let's just see what other ones I've got. I've got her. I mean, she's yellow. She, I feel, would be better on the other side where there is some yellow. So yeah, I quite like him really. Hold on, let me find some other bits that I've done. Okay, right, so I have dug out those, and I've also dug out some more backgroundy bits. So let's open this back up. Okay, let's have a look here. So we were doing this section here, weren't we? So from my bits that I've grabbed in, let's just see if we've got any that we'd like to make a pocket from. I mean, to be honest, that might look quite cute on there. So, yep. These are just some bits. Some of them are from my fussy cut packs. And some, you know, some are extra pieces. So, just having a quick look. I'm pulling in things that I think are nice and bright and colourful because obviously, you know, I talked about this before. I really feel like you can get away with using all your most colourful stash when you do children's book things. Because, you know, children's book by nature, they are very, very bright and colourful, aren't they? So it's time, you know, time to have a bit of fun, I think, when you do children's book things. So let's have a look. We could have something like that. Now, I will probably ink around all of this, but for the minute, I'm wondering, I'm trying to cover up this dirty mark that I've got on here. I mean, it's not the end of the world if I don't, because to be honest, it will be covered up with the book image, but just if I can cover it up, that would be not a bad thing to do, to be honest. So let's pop this in here. Oops. It's got a little bit of blue coming out. There we go. Okay. Pop that down. So yeah, we've got a little flap there. So I'm just going to place some things around and then it will give me a feel for what's going to look best. So, and what did I do with that? Let's just see. I wondered whether we could have had both of those as pockets, but it's not quite as I'd hoped it to look. No, either that. Could have done with probably 2 of these, which I might have another one. Let me just have a look. Different colour green. Is it the same size? Oh, it's a bit smaller. Well, we could have something like that, to be honest. So let's just play around. We have that there. Or, no. Right, let's have a look at our shapes that we've got here. So, right, let's cut this one out. So what I've done, I've just taken the book pages and I've layered them double onto some book page so that they're then much more like sort of almost like a cardboard, you know, so that they're then going to stand out a bit more when I glue them down rather than just being flat on the page. So she's a little bit on the fiddly side to cut out, I've got to be honest. Yep. Oh my goodness, she is fiddly to cut out. Wow. Oh my goodness, why did I think that she was going to be fine to cut out, I wonder? Just trying to work out whether that's part of her dress, part of her hair. The last thing that I want to do is suddenly cut into it and then discover, oh my goodness, that was half of her hair that I've now cut off. And I have done things like that very often before. And sometimes you can rescue it by gluing it carefully back with the original piece. Sometimes there is no coming back from it at all. And yeah, it's just, you know, you're just then stuffed. So there we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Like that. Oh my gosh, this was probably one of the worst things I've ever cut out. And I've got loads of them. Loads of them that I suspect are going to be just as bad. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully she was worth the effort. So she will go quite nice there because actually she picks up this colour quite well, doesn't she? Now, just wondering about her jug, so I might just take that little splosh off. Just because otherwise that was going to be hanging over and end up getting torn off anyway, so might as well get rid of it. Right, so she can go up there, I think. Okay, so still looking for something to go on here. What about this? Got this little pig. Oh my goodness. Something tells me all of these are going to be hideous to cut out. So, yeah, bear with me. I think this is going to be a very cute little folio, I have to say. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't really done something like this before, but I think it's going to look very pretty once it's done. It's going to be eclectic and very colourful, obviously. I mean, I love a bit of colour, so it's going to be right up my street, to be honest. Oops. Right, I'm going to go into that little space in a minute because I think it will just be easier once it's, you know, once I've finished cutting it to go back in. Okay. My goodness. Oh, cut his snout off nearly. Oh, hers. Hers. It is a girl pig. Oh my gosh, come on. Oh. Right, I'm going to leave that little space as well and go back in there afterwards as well. So, like that. Okay, right. So I've got a couple of little spaces to go into. So I've got this little space here like that. Okay, that's that one. And then the other one, oh my gosh. Like that. Right. Okay, so yeah, could maybe have the little pig there. That's quite cute, isn't it? And then on this one, again, just thinking maybe put something else on there as well. So we could have something like that. And so I have got this. Oh, she's got loads of pages, which I'm not sure they're all glued down. There we go. Yeah, just looking for something that's kind of the right size, really. Oh, I've got a little cat. No, I'm going to just take her for a minute. Oh, I can't see really. Oh, that was her foot. Look, I've just cut off her foot off. Oh well, you know, let's just get rid of it altogether. Let's get rid of her foot altogether. She's going to be footless. Okay. I mean, her hands, I have to say, they were very tricky. So they're probably not looking the best now. She's probably got like 3 fingers now instead of 5. Oh, well. Never mind. Right, there we go. I mean, the thing is, once it's stuck on there, no one's going to be counting her fingers, are they? So, you know, if I have cut off her fingers by mistake, I don't think it'll be the end of the world. Right, so something like that, I'm thinking, would look quite cute, wouldn't it? So just sort of pin that down. Now, I've got some blue lace here, which I thought would be rather lovely and hopefully bring it all together as well. So, you know, straight away, just put in that lace there. It's tying it in, isn't it? So, right, let's ink this up a bit. So just ink up these shapes, which will hopefully disguise my very shoddy cutting. Okay, and I'm just going to ink up this a little bit. Not sure how much that's really showing up, but okay, right. I'm going to just ink the entire thing, actually, just quickly. Okay. Like that. A little bit there and a bit here. I should really put some thick page underneath this, just because I don't want to end up having like a square mark, you know, around where I've inked this. So just quickly ink it up here. I could do with a new sponge on my blendy tool. Look at it, it's disintegrating by the second. And I'm sure once I change it, I'll be like, oh my goodness, why was I persevering with that for so long? Right, just inking up a bit here as well, just while we're, you know, while we're at it. Okay. Did I ink that one up? I'm not sure whether I did. Oh, perhaps I did. Perhaps I did. Oh, and let's do this as well. Okay. Oh, and we might as well just quickly ink her as well. Oh my goodness. Yep, she's nearly had her hands ripped off altogether there. She will not only be like, you know, fingerless, she's going to be footless, she's going to be fingerless, she's going to be handless. Oh my goodness. Cut off all of her major limbs. Limbs? They're not limbs, are they? What do you call like hands and feet? I'm not too sure, to be honest. Are they called limbs? I mean, limbs are like arms and legs. I'm not sure what hands and feet are. Are they limbs? I'm just, yeah, really ignorant on body parts, obviously, so not great. I shouldn't be talking about things that I've no clue about, because yeah, you're probably all watching thinking, oh my goodness, what's wrong with this woman? Why does she not know any of these things? Right, now I'm thinking like that. I also want to put some lace down the middle to, you know, secure the fold. So let me just see what lace I've got there. Oh, I've got this, but I've only got this piece. This is from the lovely Laura. Oh, you see, I might be sorry if I use that, because I wouldn't then have more of this to put elsewhere. That being said, I mean, if I take this off of the header, I've probably got more than I realise. So just tear that across. Okay. Oh, I don't think it looks great anyway, now that I've done that, to be honest. So yeah, I don't think we'll go with that anyway. I've got some coffee dyed lace, which might just be more, you know, what we need to kind of like neutral it up a bit, because we have got a lot of colours going on here. So, you know, maybe we just need a bit of neutral, a bit of neutralising. Let's just tear that down. Maybe like that. What do we think? And then, you know, could maybe put some lace or something, some ribbon or something up here. Let's just see. No, I'm not loving the ribbon actually, but no, I didn't really like the ribbon. So I've dug out some other bits and bobs. So I've got this sari silk here, and I thought actually, I think the addition of some of the sari silk and things looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off, I'm going to put some of this blue lace here, I think, across this, you know, what's going to be a pocket. So just pop some like that. Okay. Sometimes when you layer, you've got to kind of like think how your layers are going to be laying, if that makes sense. A lot of lays in that sentence, wasn't there? So yeah, this one, obviously I want it to lay underneath this lace. So it will go like that, and then this lace will be on top. So obviously it's essential to kind of get that lace on first, and then this little pig is going to go on there. Just see if we want any lace on that one as well. I wasn't going to, but actually I think that does look quite cute. So yeah, we'll just put some other lace on there. Okay. Yep, love how that looks. I'll just snip that out. Right, and then now this obviously is quite small, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to glue it on the two sides, and then when I put the other pocket over the top of it, it will have like the full depth of the two pockets rather than just the one, if that makes sense. So oops, put this like this, like that. Okay, oops, okay, like that. Glue that down, and then this one here I'm just going to put on all three sides. And then I hope that kind of makes sense. What I just meant was putting this over means that that pocket goes not only the depth of that, but also the other pocket as well. So like that. Okay, then this lace is going to go over here. We're going to have this little piglet on here, and then here we're going to have this lady. So I'm just going to glue this down. Wondering, because I'm going to put some sari silk on here, so I'm just wondering whether no, I'm going to put it as a belly band like that. Okay. And, you know, again, all these kinds of shades, they're all just kind of like tying everything in together, aren't they? So, like here, we've got some olivey green, which then ties in like this olivey green. So, you know, we've got then a bit of sort of continuity throughout the whole thing. And then this sari silk. Well, not really big enough, unfortunately, to go on there, but I've got some other sari silk here, so let's just bring this in. Oops. Oh my goodness, come on. Right, I'll just tear that down. So yeah, we can have this one now. Let me just snip off this end, just where it's a bit straggly, and that can go then down there. So I love how that looks. And then this, we can kind of like put her raised by using some hot glue. And we might put something in the background of her as well. Let me just see what I've got here in terms of like labels and things. So hold on, I've got here. Okay, so maybe a label, quite like that. So yeah, just pop that on the side. It's just making her stand out a bit more, isn't it? Because otherwise she was a bit blending into the chairs there. So by putting this on, she just kind of blends in slightly more. Okay, and then, right, I'm going to glue her down with the hot glue. So you can probably hear she's, I'm not saying cardboard, but you know, she's got a sort of thicker appearance because where we've backed her onto the book page. So I can just take my hot glue. Oops, I might need another glue stick just before I do that. Hang on, oops. Pop another glue stick in. Okay, and then like that. Okay, and yep, pop her down there like that. Okay, so she looks pretty, doesn't she? And then here along the side I'm going to put some sari silk. So I mean, we really have got a lot of colours going on here already, haven't we? But I really do love them. I think they look gorgeous together. So just move that out of the way, and yep, we just ruffle the sari silk down this edge. So, oh my goodness, oh, I'm kind of like against the clock here. Otherwise, like the hot glue can dry a little bit and it won't stick. Oh, come on. Like that. Okay. Just a bit of extra glue there because it was sort of not quite stuck at the bottom. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so that looks nice, doesn't it? I just got some glue here. Take that off. Right, and then, you know, we could put some flowers down or something. I don't know whether it necessarily needs any, but I mean, we could cover up that hand that I've cut into, but I don't think it looks great. So yeah, maybe a little flower there. Totally no need to be gluing this down with hot glue, but it was just what was in my hand at the time. So yeah, little flower, looking cute. And then here, I think, so just finishing this bit off, we're going to have this here. I'd like to have some sari silk probably ruffled here as well. So should we go right the way across? Oh yeah, I think right the way across. So again, that continuity, kind of like tying in, you know, bits from elsewhere. So maybe we could have like a little label there, or I don't know yet. But I'm just checking whether I would want to have her under or over the lace before I glue the lace down. Right, we're going to have her over because otherwise her leg was buried under the lace and she just looked like she was like balancing on one leg, which, you know, that just looked weird, didn't it? So we've got the little pig. Now, going to be tricky to do this with the hot glue because look at how skinny some of these bits are. Let's try our best. I mean, don't have to glue it with the hot glue. I could have used the wet glue. Doing it with the hot glue because I want to have a bit of a raised effect, which I think the hot glue is really nice for doing that. Like that. Put that down. Okay, loving that. Right, put the lace down here. So I like to put quite a lot into the actual folded area. Then down like that. Okay, just pop a little bit of glue there. Okay, right. Pop that down. Oh my goodness, how cute is this looking? Oh, I just love it. And then what we could do is have a flower somewhere on here as well. So I've got some flowers still here. Let's just see what colours I've got. I mean, this one, sometimes you get these bonus flowers, which is great. There we go. Thinking could maybe have or maybe under there. I love these colours together. I mean, who would have ever thought that those would look good together? It's like olive green, the blue, and then the coffee dyed lace. But wow, doesn't that look gorgeous together? So we could have something like that there. Just again, just bringing in a bit more, you know, in terms of colour. So, I mean, not that we really need to because it's pretty colourful, but yeah, quite like that. And then, yes, I think along here, I'm going to do the sorry silk right the way across the bottom. So just ink this a little bit more. My ink's just beginning to dry up a bit. So we go right the way across. Oops. Oh, come on. Right, there we go. Sometimes it's a bit wide, so I like to tear it in half. Okay, so starting on this edge, we're going to go right the way across here. Like that. And then right the way across to that spine. So like that. There we go. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous does that look? I love all those colours together. I mean, this is a seriously different looking page, isn't it, to, you know, a lot of things that we do. But don't those colours just look so gorgeous together? So like I say, we're going to have this one here. So obviously I need to decorate this, oops, this envelope flap, which maybe her, or let's have a look and see what else we've got. Maybe the Joker. Oh, or maybe this hen. So just going to cut this hen out. Oh. See, I'm doing the same mistake again. I'm now deciding to cut around every single little bit. Which, oh, why am I doing this? Because it's not all that easy to cut these shapes out. Now, I'm going to come unstuck here because this hen is washing up. So we've got like a sink area. So I'm going to have to go like that. And then I'm going to just have to pretend like there's some sort of wall here. So I'm just going to tear maybe across the top. And then like pick up the hen again. Like maybe there. I'm not sure whether I've pulled that off really, but let's give it a try. So just, oh my goodness, these are very tricky to cut into. Now, is that part of its body, do we think? I don't know whether that's part of its body. Like, if I cut that off, is that going to look like it's got no body? I mean, oddly, I don't really know how a hen should look. Should it have that bit, or would it be better without that? I can't help but think it would be better without that. I don't know whether that's part of its body or not. Oh dear. I mean, so much for, you know, dissecting or mutilating things today. I've cut off the woman's fingers, cut off her feet, now cut off potentially maybe the whole of that chicken or hen's bum. I don't know whether it was its bum or its stomach. I mean, I don't know whether that was supposed to be there or not. I really no clue. So I think what I would do is go in like this now. I just wanted to see how it looked with that white space. But yeah, I think probably we need to get rid of that. Oops. Like that. Oh my goodness. Fiddly, fiddly. Right. I mean, it is a bit weird, or I could just get rid of the tap altogether and just cut more around the plate. Maybe that would be better. Oh, at this rate, I'm going to have nothing left of the image, am I? I've cut off gradually everything. Oh. Honestly, stranger things have happened. I have done things like that frequently before. So, yeah, just cut that round. So, I mean, although I would say it's quite a bit of work, like obviously backing your images onto, you know, the book page to make them solid, I do think it's worth it because they are now just standing out a lot more than they would if they had just been flat book page. I mean, like I say, it probably does require a bit of time and extra effort to do it, but I do think it's, yeah, I do think it's worth it. Right, so we've got that one there. Now, she's going to go just over here somewhere, I think. Yeah, definitely over there. Now, what colours do we think we need here? Do we think it's time to bring in a bit more of, like, the colours that we've got over on the far side? I'm sure that I had some polka dot paper, some of the green somewhere. Let me just see if I've got some anywhere. Hang on. Can't see any. Hang on. Right, I've got a total change now. Instead of having the green polka dot, I thought actually on this side, and it's getting tricky to obviously fit all this on the camera, I've got this page here from my vintage desk. I think it's set 3. And I thought actually, let's do that instead. So I'm going to take this now, just deciding how to have this. Yeah, like that. So I'm just going to take this here. Like that. Now, I'm going to probably end up with a bit of a sort of weird shape going on here, but let's just give it a go. So, yeah. Ideally, just didn't want that photograph, you know, the woman in the equation. So, yeah, we've got rid of her. Right, let's take this off. Right, like that. Okay, not too bad, not too bad, I think. What have I done with the hen now? Oh, the hen's flicked over here. Right, so yeah, we're going to have the hen over there. That's just a way of tying in, obviously, the two ends of the folio, which I think is quite nice, to be honest. You know, otherwise it was possibly off balance a little bit. So just going to cut this down slightly. Like that. Glue this down. I've talked about this before, but I like to just tear around the envelope. I would be no good at, you know, trying to replicate the shape of that envelope and cut it out. Not, you know, it's not my forte, kind of like precision work like that. So I think just go with the flow, know that I can't do that, and yeah, just try and tear it around. And then if I've got a great big, you know, gap as I have here, hey, so be it. Just work with that, you know. I think that's kind of like, it works better for me doing that than trying to somehow cut this around to be in perfectly line with the envelope. So yeah, that just works with me better, or works for me better. So like that, and then just, yep, mop this out. Okay, right, loving that. Now, did we ink this? I think we did. So that gorgeous little hen can obviously go on here somewhere. Now, do we want anything else, like maybe in the background with that hen? Or I've got this gorgeous, and that's probably a little bit on the big side, but these are just some of my bright, colourful roses, which I thought, oh, perhaps they would look quite good on here. Because I really think, you know, you can sort of go all out with the colours when you're doing children's book things. Let's just see here. Well, that's got too much black going on. Let's see what else I've got. It's got one of my steampunk frames there. I do love a frame, so oh, what about like that? Oh yeah, what about like that? So we've got the frame in, but obviously I'm making it work with my image because I didn't want to have like the purple and the green from the steampunk image just showing. So yeah, I think that works quite nicely. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just glue this down. Loving this. Like that. Okay, I should have really inked this first, but never mind, we'll ink it now. Better late than never. Let's just quickly ink around here. Okay, right, and then this here, like that. Let me just shut this for a moment. Okay, now have got some bright greeny things, which, to be honest, I was thinking we needed to tie in the green, but actually I think probably we've got more blue stuff here really rather than green, haven't we? So yeah, maybe we need to somehow bring some more blue in. I mean, that's quite cute. Or we could use actually some of the little flowers that we've been using and have some of those dotted about. Well, not necessarily dotted about, but you know, somewhere anyway. Oh, right, I've got a few bits here. So got that label. That's a shame, isn't it, that we've cut it the wrong way. Unless we have it there. That's quite cute. And maybe a butterfly. Let's try a couple of these. That's a bit weird. It's coming out from its bottom. Yeah, not great. Let's just see. Yeah, going to use the label here. Oops, picked up the wrong glue. Put that down just there. Like that. Oh, I can't actually wait to see this folio finished, to be honest. It's going to be such a burst of colour, and it's going to just look so different, I think, to anything else that I've made previously. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to seeing the finished result. Do let me know below, what do you think? I mean, I'm not saying this is going to be for everybody because it is very, very colourful, and you know, over time I have realised that not everybody likes colour as much as I do. I mean, I know that just sounds shocking because I love colour so much. I find that really hard to believe that anyone doesn't like it. But yes, it has dawned on me that not everybody is quite as enthusiastic for colour. But I do love it. Now, wondering whether I want to have a bit of lace along there. Or, I mean, we could have more of the sari silk. I feel like we need a bit of blue, to be honest. Let me just try this little sort of more browny colour butterfly, because this might just tone it in a different direction to having this greeny butterfly, to be honest. Just noticed this envelope is sort of coming apart a bit, so yeah, nothing to do with me, I have to say. Yeah, even though I've been mutilating all the pictures, that envelope was actually nothing to do with me. So yeah, that was obviously just from where it was purchased. Yeah, I quite like that. Now, to get the blue in, I'm just wondering whether we could just have something like, you know, this put somewhere. So I wonder if we could have a bit of the blue lace coming out behind the chicken. Oops. maybe like a bit here. Oh, that's quite cute, isn't it? So I'm just going to leave that lace there for a minute. We'll glue the chicken down. Like that. Okie dokie. So like that. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it, to just have that bit of blue. And it ties in as well, the blue of the apron and things like that, which is very cute. And then I'm thinking, do we want to have a book plate as well somewhere with a bit of blue? Maybe up there. Something like that. And then maybe, oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's so good, to be honest. Right, let's check the sari silk again. Oh, I do know, I can't actually decide now on this. What did I do with that coffee dyed lace? Here we go. Wondering whether we might have a little bit of this somewhere. Maybe just like a bit up there. And this down here, I think. Yeah, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So, I'm going to just glue this up here. Like that. Okay, and then just, yeah, go down the edge with the sari silk. Now, this is quite skinny, this sari silk, because obviously this is the narrower part of where I've torn some in half, but I don't mind that. Or I could use this thicker sari silk and then join them, sort of thing. So it starts out thick and then gets thinner. I mean, look at how thick that is. That's huge, isn't it? Let me just try and, doesn't need to be that thick, I'm sure. Right, okay, let's try this. So let's hope I've got enough to cover this. Right, we're going to go in here. And the next bit. I mean, this is what you call really using every last bit, isn't it? You know. So, yeah, like that with the next bit. Like that. And then we've got this little bit. Okay. Goodness, we've got a lot of joins on here, haven't we? But I mean, touch wood, hopefully you'll agree, they're quite seamless, aren't they? You know, you can't really see where that's joined, can you? I was going to go right down to the bottom with the thin, but actually I quite like it just halfway down. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice. So I mean, that was a sort of happy coincidence, wasn't it? Or happy accident, you know, we'd run out, but actually I think that's how it looks best. So that's how it's coming along so far. I really like it. Yep. It's not going to be to everybody's taste, I realise, because it is very bright and colourful. But yeah, let me know what you think below. Like I say, I don't think I've really made anything like this before, but I'm really liking how it's turning out. So let me know what you think below, and yeah, let me know if you feel inspired to do something like this yourself with some of your children's books that you maybe have. And yeah, love to you know, hear what you're all up to. So yep, do leave a comment in the chat below. And also, if you could leave a thumbs up, that would be absolutely awesome. Thank you. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm sorry, I just can't resist, can't quite stop. I will see you guys in the next video. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.